Today's video will demonstrate the UML class diagram of the unordered set. Hello, I'm James Helfrich. The unordered set is built with a hash table. This video will demonstrate how to build your own unordered set, and it'll do so by explaining the UML class diagram associated with it. The UML class diagram for the hash is called the unordered set. There's actually four related classes. There's the unordered set, unordered map, unordered multiset, and unordered map. In other words, the standard template library does not have a hash. It's just the implementation thereof. Now we're going to start with the standard interfaces. The constructors, the assignment operator, is it empty, number of elements, and clear all elements. We also have reserve, which will reserve enough buckets to be able to handle the number of elements according to our load factor. Rehash, bucket count, which is the number of buckets currently in the hash, the size of a given bucket, the load factor, and the maximum load factor. All those are specific to the hash. It also has an insert and erase taking a T, and that T means the unordered set is a template class. It has a begin and an end iterator, and so we have to have an unordered set iterator, which is a nested class. We have an erase and a find, both of which return an iterator. We also have a hash function, which returns the hash function, the key equal, which is the equals predicate, and the allocator, which means there's not just one template parameter, but there's actually four. And finally, we have a begin and end, which takes an index as a parameter. And this returns a local iterator to a specific bucket, which means I have not one, but two nested iterators associated with the unordered set. Now for the local variables, I have a number of elements, the number of elements currently in the unordered set, and the maximum load factor. I also have a buckets, which is a vector, and we have exactly one vector, which takes the T and the A, and each element in a vector will be a list, which also takes the T and A. Now my unordered set iterator needs several things. First of all, I need to be able to iterate between the buckets, and then I need to be able to iterate within a bucket. Now, between the buckets, I have an iterator vector and an iterator vector end, which means I need to have a vector iterator, which is a nested class within a vector, and I'm going to have the it vector and it vector end, so two vectors by composition. And this will allow me to iterate between the buckets. Now, within a bucket, remember, each bucket is going to consist of a list, which means I need to have a list iterator for that particular bucket. I don't need to have an it list end because all list iterators share the same end iterator, which is the null iterator. So that means I need to have a list iterator as a nested class to the list, and I need to have exactly one instance of that by composition. The final element is my local iterator, and this is going to be an iterator within a single bucket. And it's just going to have a single list iterator, which is going to be by composition 1. And that's the class diagram for the unordered set. You can learn more about the unordered set, including the class diagram and the many different methods, in the hash chapter of the C++ data structures textbook.